All right, today we are going to make the Joshua Bifold Slim Wallet. It is literally just a small bifold wallet. It has an ID window on the back. This is just a card pocket, and then on the inside there are just two card pockets. Literally it folds in half. I used edge paint on this one. I'm not quite finished. I need to add a top coat. But that's it. This vinyl is from More Me Now. It is watermelon luxe vinyl. And this clear glitter is also from More Me Now. And then the lining I used is self-adhesive Hexatex from Soulful Therapy. So I made this one in the video here. So then also I made these two leather options, and I used edge paint on the top of the pieces on this. So the reason why I decided to make this pattern was because my husband needs a new wallet. Hopefully he doesn't see this, and I was going to make him one for Christmas. So this is also the self-adhesive Hexatex as the lining, and I have a money clip on these. I ordered this off Amazon, which I will link all of this in the description. And this brown one and the gray one are both made out of leather. So, and this clear vinyl is also just from More Me Now. Oh, it's got fingerprints all over it. The money clips come like this. I ordered on Amazon 20 of them for, I think 10 bucks. So pretty cheap. And you can make it with or without. So this could be cute for giving gift cards though. And it's nice to have something that we can give to like the guys or just somebody who likes to carry a card wallet in their pocket. So I might see if my dad will carry one of these. I'll ask my mom. And I don't know which one to give to my husband, brown or gray. I'm not sure. I would like to ask him, but then it won't be a surprise for Christmas, right? So anyway, Joshua Bifold Slim Wallet. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up if you like what you see. Join my Facebook group so that you can share your projects, your wallets that you make out of this, or any other projects that you make for my patterns. Thanks for watching. Let's get started. So we have all of our pieces cut out. The exterior is watermelon luxe vinyl from More Me Now. It has the microfiber backing. All right, this clear glitter vinyl is also from More Me Now. And then my lining is self-adhesive Hexatex from Soulful Therapy. So step one, we are going to take the ID pocket window and center it on the wrong side of the exterior ID pocket, which is this piece. We are going to use 1/8 inch double-sided tape all the way around the opening on the exterior ID pocket. The ID pocket and one of the card pockets is on the outside, and then two card pockets are on the inside. So if you wanted to cut the inside pockets different from the outside pockets, you could do that. They're all labeled as cut them out of the exterior because they all need to be cut out of vinyl or other non-fraying material. The lining needs to either be something that is not going to fray, or you will need to use something like fray check around the edges. Or like I'm going to edge coat my wallet when it's finished. So then it's not a concern about fraying. Okay, so we're just sticking the clear window down and sticking it to that tape. So now we have that. There is this little hole cut in the middle of the window so that you can use your finger to slide the ID out. So now we're just going to top stitch all the way around that opening. using a 1/8 inch seam allowance. And I have my stitch length set to 4.5 for this project. The thread that I'm using is Bubblegum Pink from Wizardry. And this project is just super quick for a last minute gift idea. Is honestly why I made the pattern. So I thought if I was making it, other people might also be looking for something similar. So why not just write it up? All right, and I did back stitch, but you could also leave your threads long and pull them to the wrong side and tie a knot. So I just pulled I cut the top threads short first and then pulled that little piece through to the back. Yeah, so now any ends of my thread are on the back, and then I'll just heat seal that. Okay, so now we have that. Step number 2, we want to take the exterior main body and lining main body and place them wrong sides together. So you could use double-sided tape around the edges to secure these pieces together, or this is self-adhesive Hexatex. So it has glue on the entire back of it, or like a tape. It's sticky. So what I'm doing is peeling back part of the backing only and lining up the one end. And then I'll peel away the rest of the paper as I press this down onto the wrong side of the exterior. And I feel like I already did this on a couple of them. And even though I cut everything out on my silhouette, the lining piece ended up a tiny bit bigger. So then I'm just going to take scissors and trim to make sure I get any of the excess off. Now, if you were edge coating and you want to edge coat all of the raw edges, you will want to use your edge coat along the top of the ID pocket, in the inside cutout of the ID pocket, along the top edge of each of the 3 card pockets. And along the top edge of the ID pocket. You want to do all of that before you start sewing. And then the rest of it is better to do after sewing. All right, so just any parts of this that don't line up, and you could do this also after you're finished, because you may have some other pieces that need trimming at that point. Okay, so now on to step number 3. We want to place the exterior main body right side up, and we're going to take the exterior ID pocket Place it on top, also right side up. So what we're going to do is use 1-inch or 1/8 inch double-sided tape around the sides and the curved bottom edge. Leave the straight edge of the pocket open because that's where you need to slide the ID in. You don't have to use 1/8 inch tape for this, but I highly recommend it because it will prevent the pieces from shifting. Also, for this project, I suggest choosing a vinyl, leather, cork, something like that that's not very stretchy. The more stiff or firm that it is, the easier it's going to be to sew and the better your finished product will be. If you do have something that's exceptionally stretchy or thin that you want to use, you might try to adhere Decovil light to the back of it before sewing. And I think that should help give it more structure and it will make it not stretchy. Okay, so I have the ID pocket. Exterior ID pocket is on, and we want one of the card pockets. So I'm also just going to put tape around the bottom and the two side edges. The double-sided tape that I use is from Weft and Warp Co. All right, so just stick that down. And then we're going to flip it over, lining side up. Step number 4, this is optional and I'm going to skip it here, but if you want to use a money clip. So I ordered, this doesn't actually say anything. I will have it linked in the pattern and in the video. I ordered these money clips off of Amazon. They are 3/4 of an inch wide. So what you do is measure 3/4 of an inch down from the top. So you want to place it like this way, and then on the back it will be facing this direction. 3/4 of an inch down from the top and centered. And when I center it from between here and here. So this is 3/4 of an inch. So that would be 6/8. And I'm going to make it just a tiny bit wider than that. So 7/8 of an inch wide. So it will be that wide. I'm not going to cut this out because I don't want to put this in this wallet. And then you would just cut along that slit right there. And then this just slides right in and it would sit like that. All right, we'll use this piece to demonstrate because I will be adding the money clip to this. So I just want to make the line like just over 3/4 of an inch. All right, I'm going to go to my cutting board and cut this real quick. All right, so I started to cut it. I cut in the very center of it with my rotary cutter, but then can't go to the ends with the rotary cutter without overcutting. So finish that with scissors. And then this you can actually just slide in. If you open it, they close pretty tightly. I burned my thumb today, so I try to get it in there. Okay, so it's like that. It's easier to open once it's on and put your money in, but it's just like that. Okay, so we are skipping that on this pink one. But you can install this before or after sewing, it doesn't matter. But you just want to make sure that you cut that slit just slightly wider than 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so now we're going to use the 1/8 inch tape. Only on these 3 sides, never on the top edge. And then this will have edge coat applied when I'm finished as well. Now, when this gets sewn together, there are 2 lines of stitching. One at 1/4 of an inch, one at 1/8 of an inch. I cut my pieces out using my silhouette, and that included SVG files. So everything is nice and perfect and smooth. If I use scissors to cut this, it would definitely not be perfect because I'm not that good at cutting with scissors. So what can be done if the edges don't line up perfectly and you want it to look neater when you're finished? You can sew one time around using 1/4 of an inch seam allowance. And then you can trim everything to be even and about 1/8 of an inch away from the stitching. Leave it with just that one line of top stitching. And then all of your edges will be nice and smooth and lined up. All right, so because I cut this with my silhouette, everything lines up perfectly. We have exterior lining, and then I'm just going to go ahead. First, I'm going to top stitch using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. When you back stitch on this, you just want to make sure that you stay in the same stitching. Like, try to go slow and be as neat as possible. Now I want to make sure that I stop and pivot exactly 1/4 of an inch from the other end, or yeah. And that was a little too far, but that's okay. What's most important is that I keep my stitching nice and straight. And I do like to top stitch with the exterior side facing up, just because I find that my top thread generally looks nicer than the bobbin thread. And even though this has rounded corners, I do pivot when I do the 1/4 inch top stitch. I pivot with the needle down and turn just like if it was a rectangle. All right, and then when I get back to where I started, I'm just going to back stitch a couple times again, or a couple stitches. Cut those top threads nice and short. I leave the bottom ones longer, and I'll pull the top threads through to the back. Which should just be a tiny little end of the thread, but then all of that part that I'll singe with my lighter is all on the inside. Okay, so here's where we're at right now. This vinyl is very nice. I like it. All right, and then we're going to repeat that using a 1/8 inch seam allowance. Again, if your edges were not perfectly lined up, you could skip this and you could just trim this down using a rotary cutter or scissors. Here, when I go around the curves, I do 1 stitch and then I lift the foot up and I rotate. Do another stitch, lift the foot up. Always stop with your needle in the down position. All right, when I get back to where I started, I like to line it up so that I stitch in the same holes and then back stitch in those same holes as well. Cut my top threads nice and short and leave the bottom ones a little longer. Pull the top thread to the back. And then trim the threads. All right, and that is literally it. If you don't want to edge coat, you're done right now. If you do want to edge coat, I recommend the leather edge paint from Mojo Sews. So this is just meant to be a little bifold slim wallet. The whole purpose behind this is that my husband carries a slim wallet and he needs a new one. So I wanted to make him one. It's not this one. He's going to get a leather one, but you've got a little ID pocket there. And then you've got these other card slots inside. So, you know, maybe you put the cards that you use the most on the outside, put the other cards on the inside and your ID there. And then if you have the money clip, that would also be here so you can put your cash in that. That's it. Super quick project. I'm going to edge coat this. All right, thanks for watching and super quick project. I think if you just sit something heavy on top of this or maybe put a couple clips on it and let it sit for a little while, then it will stay folded. This one actually has some cash in it. This was my first prototype, so I changed it a little bit. But this one stays folded, and I just finished sewing it maybe 2 days ago. So that's it. Simple, quick, last minute project. You could probably put snaps in here somehow if you wanted to. maybe little magnetic snaps right in the corners or something, or right in there, but then I don't know how the cards would fit in. But it's meant to just be simple and not necessarily need that. So, all right, thanks for watching. And I can't wait to see your Joshua Bifold Slim Wallets.